In just a second, we'll take a look at why Twitter is banning Donald Trump permanently, but understand that as I'm making this video, there's a pretty broad sweep taking place of conservatives on social media, and it's not just Trump anymore. And on top of that, Parler, which is like the main competitor to Twitter, is being removed on Google, and a bunch of other platforms are considering doing the same to them. Look guys, it doesn't really matter if you're for or against Donald Trump. The point here is that if they're coming for the people that you oppose one day, then it's just a matter of time before they're coming for you as well. So let's take a look at what actually happened with Donald Trump, and then we'll move into what's going on with Parler as well right after. Check this out guys. Twitter permanently suspends Donald Trump's account. The US President Donald Trump has been permanently suspended from Twitter due to the risk of further incitement of violence, the company says. Twitter said the decision was made after close review of recent tweets from the real Donald Trump Twitter account. It comes amid a big tech purge of the online platforms used by Mr. Trump and his supporters. So the ban here is not just happening on Donald Trump. As this article says, there's a bunch of conservatives that are now being purged from social media and different platforms. So why was Donald Trump banned in the first place? The article says that Mr. Trump was locked out of his account for 12 hours on Wednesday after he called the people who stormed the US Capitol patriots. And he did do that technically in a tweet. We'll get into that right after this section right here. Hundreds of his supporters entered the complex as the US Congress attempted to certify Joe Biden's victory in the presidential election. The ensuing violence led to the deaths of 4 civilians and a police officer. Twitter warned that it would ban Mr. Trump permanently if he breached the platform's rules again. Let's go right into the actual tweets that Donald Trump made that finally got him banned permanently from Twitter. They follow right here. In one, he wrote, the 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America first and make America great again, will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. So that's 1 out of 2 tweets that ended up getting him permanently banned. I don't know about you guys, but looking at that tweet alone, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with it. He's clearly addressing all of the people that voted for him. I don't think he's addressing the specific people that burst into Congress and was in the end responsible for at least a few deaths and a lot of violence, right? To me, it doesn't look like he's addressing those people specifically, but he is calling all of them patriots. So technically, you could say that he's calling them patriots as well, right? So that's what the mainstream media is arguing here. The second tweet was that he said, "To all of those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January the 20th." That's the inauguration of Joe Biden, which obviously Donald Trump has now conceded that Joe Biden will be the president, and he in a video that he made. So Twitter said that this was being received by a number of his supporters as further confirmation that the election was not legitimate. So that's drawing a conclusion that you really can't draw, right? The fact that you're not going to an inauguration, but at the same time you've already said in a video that you understand that Joe Biden is going to be the next president, that he's going to be inaugurated. To me, it sounds like he has accepted it, he doesn't like it, he's not going to the inauguration, but obviously he's not inciting to violence here. He's not saying that Joe Biden won't be president and that if he becomes president, you need to take action or do something against it, right? He's basically just saying, I'm not going to be at the inauguration, which politically it's not a good look, because it's very important to have the peaceful transition of power in the US. And obviously, this doesn't contribute to the new administration having a good start. But that's pretty much the extent of it. I don't think you can draw that many conclusions, other like worse conclusions out of this. To me, it just looks like he's angry about the election. He's not going to the inauguration, and that's pretty much it. Meanwhile, Twitter said that both these tweets were in violation of the glorification of violence policy. I don't know, guys. I want your opinion in the comment section. I don't know about this. The tweets being a violation of the glorification of violence policy. I don't think there's any kind of glorification in what he's saying. He's just basically saying that he doesn't like the result. But give me your opinion. I might be slightly off on this. Now, this is interesting as well, because it's not just talking about social media, right? The DonaldTrumpStore.com is no longer up and running. It's been shut down for some reason. So in the beginning, someone pointed this out to me, and I thought maybe it's just a technical issue, right? So I went ahead and checked a few of the other Donald Trump websites. These are pretty new to me because I don't go to his websites, but I checked them out, and one by one they're all shut down. This is the TrumpVictory.com, and again, it's just forbidden. It's now forbidden for you to go to that website. Obviously, that's just a technical error, but it's both the shop, his TrumpVictory.com, which was a site supposedly that's supporting that he was actually winning in spite of the results that we were getting, right? Whatever you think of it, it's been shut down. As well with the store, the official Trump store has been shut down. Doesn't seem to be a technical issue, does it? It seems to be something else happening here. And something that a lot of other people have missed is that Google actually went ahead and banned Parler, as this Business Insider article talks about. They went ahead and banned Parler from its app store for failing to remove violent content. Now, it's not only Google doing this, it's a bunch of other companies like Apple who have warned Parler for not removing posts that incite violence fast enough. That's a high standard to put on Parler alone, because obviously Gmail, which is owned by Google, is used to spread around emails that could incite violence. Thousands a day, maybe tens of thousands, considering how many emails are sent around with Gmail. So it seems shady. So they're talking about in this article a few posts that Parler didn't remove fast enough. Parler is the main competitor to Twitter, and they're trying to kind of go outside the operations of all of these big tech companies. So they're kind of trying to do their own independent thing where you can post and say whatever you want as long as it's within the laws, right? So you can't incite to violence. So they take down those posts. But they're arguing in this article that they didn't take them down fast enough. So now Google is removing Parler from its app. It's also considering removing them in search suggestions, which would pretty much wipe them off of the face of, I was going to say the planet, but the internet. Apple is also saying that Google's move followed after Apple issued a similar warning to Parler on giving the company 24 hours to address the policy violations. Those 24 hours are up now, and there's a bunch of companies that are considering to do the same thing as Google has done to Parler. That's a radical move. That's a radical move to take out, because Google and Twitter and Facebook and all of these big tech companies obviously work closely together. So this is beginning to look like something where big tech companies are trying to create a monopoly, trying to wipe out the smaller competitors that are trying to rise up. Because I use Parler and I don't see anything that incites to violence. And I know the few posts that there has been in the past that Parler has been made aware of, they remove them right away. They follow the laws of the nation. And so should they, right? My problem here isn't that Parler is made to follow the laws of the nation. That's not my problem. My problem is that there's a double standard within all of these big tech companies. And they say, so Parler, you didn't remove this post, you didn't remove that post, now you're going to be wiped away. Now, basically, if Google wipes them away, no one's going to find them. I mean, they're gonna have some people are going to find them, but there's gonna be a hugely reduced traffic coming into Parler, and it's going to hit them hard. I just don't like the double standard because Facebook, Twitter, a lot of other web pages has been used to incite. They don't take the posts down as fast as they could either, but you don't see any ramifications for these big tech sites because they kind of all work together. They cooperate to do the same. Like when they ban conservatives, you often see them get banned on a bunch of different platforms at the same time. And you have a general feeling that these big tech companies are looking out for each other, but not when it comes to these new startups that begin to threaten not the existence, but the monopoly of a big tech company like Twitter. I don't know. To me, this was a big deal because it's such a dramatic thing. Remember that Trump still has like 11 days left of his U.S. Presidency. So they're actively removing a U.S. president from being able to communicate outside of the press directly to you guys, to you people, and it's not just about Donald Trump. I think the important issue here is that if they do it to Donald Trump, and if they do it to his supporters, and you might not agree with them, right? In the moment, some people might be happy that Donald Trump won't any longer be tweeting. Some people might actually be relieved. But it's not about the single person. It's about the principle behind it. And if they can do this to someone like Donald Trump, they can do it to you as soon as you air out a viewpoint that they don't like, that doesn't go against any laws, but they just don't like it. So they can remove you. All of the followers, and I don't want to add to this age where you need followers and stuff, but a lot of people try to communicate through social media. And if you do, sometimes you spend a long time building up an audience. It could be gone. All of your work could be gone overnight, and you wouldn't be able to talk with that many people. If you have the right viewpoints, and if you're aligned with big tech companies and social media, you're probably not gonna be in danger of that anytime soon. But if your friends or people that you know, or that funny uncle in your family that has a certain viewpoint that's not that fashionable, if he begins to be removed, I think it's going to make most people think about it twice. It's not a situation we want to be in, where these tech companies can basically make up what amounts to laws. You won't be punished for it criminally, but you will be reduced in your capacity to be able to communicate with other people. And that's the main point, that we need to be able, in this age, we need to be able to communicate. We can't just eradicate a certain viewpoint because we don't like it. Because the answer is not to eradicate viewpoints, the answer is to have more communication. The more communication you have, the less people will be pushed into these tribes. The less people will be forced into camps. Because imagine being in a camp where you can't express your viewpoint and you're not allowed to, and if you do, you get removed completely. Then what's that going to do to people? They're just going to become more radicalized. They're not going to mix with your viewpoint. Let's say you have a more reasonable viewpoint. Those people need to hear your viewpoint for them to maybe understand the other side. But if they can't do that, they're just gonna all gather together, become more radicalized, and you're gonna have much more extreme people than you have right now. I just worry sometimes that these tech companies, they don't really see the end of the road that they're going down. It's a dangerous precedence to begin to ban people for their viewpoints, especially when they don't really go against laws or anything that governments put forth. Because obviously I'm in favor of social medias and different companies enforcing the laws of the nations. So obviously if you incite to violence, I believe that should be taken down. But it should be on all platforms, and they should be held equally liable for it. I want to hear your viewpoint on this, because this is a big topic right now, and in 2021 it'll be as we're now in 2021, it'll be a massive issue. It'll be a huge issue. So tell me what you think about this, and let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a good day. I'll see you in the next video.